In this week's episode, we talk about that time Jordan bought his pals at Mall a dildo, and Evan is quite unhappy. Welcome back to another episode of the No Rep podcast.
What episode number is it?
I don't know.
54.
54.
54.
Welcome to the best podcast in the world. I am with the usual gang, Jai Green and Ev Mid. Saturn boys.
Do you know you didn't put episode 53 up?
Huh?
On Spotify?
Shut up.
That's your one job.
What? Shut up.
Been serious?
No way.
All is well though.
My heart rate's up a wee bit.
Hold on. So is mine. Now I know that the fucking... It's definitely on the tubes.
Oh,
You're
man.
one job.
It's on the tubes.
Half five. It's fucking not on there.
Shit.
Double whammy for the trips.
Double
Aye.
whammy.
There we go. Anyway.
Well, anyway, what's been happening? Mistakes are easily made, right?
That's fucked up.
Aye, man.
The fuck? Maybe it is episode 53.
No, we definitely done an episode 50. Definitely.
Oh, because that said 80. I'd be 100%.
Really?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking
You need to get
August.
on that.
Audience, come on,
What's
man.
happening there?
What's the-
sack
What's the forfeit?
sack the uploader.
Aye. No, tell us, audience, man. Keep us. Keep
A pint. Down a pint as quickly as I can.
A dirty pint.
Oh no.
Oh, I don't reply.
Oh no. Anyway, how are we? Evan, how are you?
I'm fucked off, man.
Evan, why are you fucked? Evan, so I'm laughing and Evan clearly wants to rip my fucking head off.
You actually fling jabs, didn't he?
Right, well, paint the picture. Paint what just happened. Paint the picture.
Dan, I used to live in Danny's flat. Danny's flat is my old flat. And sometimes my mail goes there. And a couple of months ago, I get loads of letters or whatever, and it was from basically a private parking company that I've got an auto payment thing set up. So I drive into an NCP car park. It should take the payment automatically, and for whatever reason it hasn't. So I had loads of parking fines and I ended up having to pay them, right? And then I've just been handed another fucking wad of 8 letters that I'm going to need to deal with.
As soon as Danny handed you those letters, I was like, who do you owe money to?
I can, they've got a specific wee line at the bottom of them, and I can look at them as a fucking parking fine. That's a fine. That's a fine. That's a fine. That's a fine. Raging.
Stacking
And then
up.
historically, so I've obviously got a terrible relationship with parking companies. Historically, some fucking numpty in Pure Gym told us that we didn't need to pay for our parking at Pure Gym.
Yeah. We used to
To be
have
fair,
both
there
been
was an email that says confirmed, like we didn't.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah. But anyway, long story short, everyone's like, "Oh no, they can't take you to court in Scotland, right?" Apparently they can, and I ended up having to pay $2,500 in fucking parking fines. Nightmare. So I'm a bit triggered.
It's rehashing some fucking old memory. I used to have been shafted.
So
with
how
that
come
before.
they've no help? If it happened the last time, but if you got a letter before, what?
So
Like this, because
So
this isn't the first time they've contacted you about this.
yeah, so what happened is last time they sent me fucking whatever fines, you gave me them, and then I dealt with them and I explained the situation. And it was an admin error on the app. So I ended up having to pay fucking whatever. And this apparently, so I've just been researching there before we started chatting, and they've changed the app. So it's now a different app that they're using. So I've been driving into this car park thinking it's just like getting taken, and now they've got a different fucking app. What? Why?
So they can fine you money?
So they can find mine. So I'm going to need to sort that out when I get home. It's a nightmare, man. That's the fucking...
It sounds like I would personally not take a single bit of responsibility. I'd be fighting that. I'd be like, no.
Parking tickets are they're a fucking joke. It's the biggest scam on earth.
Yeah, and remember, they can only take you to court over £1,000.
Do you know what the
As
biggest scam on earth is? Inheritance tax. We were chatting about this today. So let's hypothetically say my parents die, right? Because I don't want them to die. I love you, Lenny. But then straight away, just for them dying, the government take 40%. What is like a privilege? So your parents, we've allowed your parents to die.
There's ways around that, I believe, though.
This is what I was actually going to start. Not that I want my parents to die anytime soon.
Yeah, but I think there's a way around it if the money is in somewhere else.
You know, an ISA or something.
Or if it's in something, then it's not like 40% that it comes off of it. It's, do you know what I mean? You can inherit the money. Apparently, allegedly.
Not that you've looked into this at
Allegedly.
all.
Do not be gifted.
Mum fucking parents don't have any money, so it doesn't really fucking matter. But
Aye.
aye,
They're
it's-
gifted, I'm sure. If you gift it to the person, it's different.
But your deed.
Not, but you put
you
it.
inherit it.
You put it as on the will as a gift. This.
I don't know. I would not take any tax advice from
Don't.
from you.
Neither would I.
And that's just a shout for any listeners as well with their notepads. Like, Danny said it's sound, mate. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that is not tax advice.
Aye.
We are not
I
tax.
just want. Let's make that very clear. We are giving no advice in this podcast.
But what I would do, right, is I would fucking take it in cash and bury it in a box in the back garden.
Credit union, stick it in the credit union.
Credit union. But so Evan's afternoon has been royally fucked by Danny.
Fucking
That's your fault.
Change your address, for
If
fuck's
you
sake.
just said, I didn't know there was letters.
Change your address. I'm taking nothing to do with this. I told you the letters were there. You didn't come get them. None of the blame is on me.
And now you have been given authority via third party witness to open any letters that come to his.
That's true. This is what you just told me to do in the first place.
I hope you change your address on Amazon or your Love Honey account
Everything's changed.
when you're buying shit, and this Love Honey
Everything's
dildo gets
changed.
fucking delivered to Danny's.
The
Danny's
Black
door.
Mamba.
Aye. Did I ever tell the story about buying my mate's mum a dildo?
No.
No, I never told this story.
No. You are, Donny.
Right, so I can't believe I've never told this. Right, anyway, so my mate Mark, shout out Mark, if you're listening. Fucking ages ago, we were all like sending each other money for something. I don't know if we booked something. I don't know if I booked something. I can't remember, but anyway, no, I was like, right. He's like, what do I need to send you? So my wee brain goes ding, and I went, the long number, the expiry dates, and the wee number at the back. Send me that, and so he pings it in the group chat, right? Rather than just his fucking account number and sort code. So I'm like, you're a fucking tit. What am I buying, right? So I'm like, what the fuck can I buy here? And I went, right, I don't want to buy anything stupid, like anything really, really expensive, or like, what can I buy? And I went, so I knew his address and I knew his mum's name and everything. So I went, I'm going to buy a dildo, right? So I bought a dildo, but I addressed it to his mom, right? This is not one word, this is a lie. All the boys will back me up on this, right? So I make a separate group chat with everybody, right? Bar him in it, right? So there's 9 folk in this group chat. And I'm like, boys, and I sent the confirmation thing, and they're like, what the fuck is this? And I went, right, don't tell them, right? But I've bought a dildo and it's getting shipped to Mark's. It's getting shipped to Mark's house. And they're fucking, that's so funny. And that's what he gets for giving away his fucking long bank number and his date. That's what you get, right?
This is need to be learned.
If somebody else fucking asked you and they went and absolutely rinsed you, like, you've learnt the hard way. So I'm like, and he's not getting his fucking money back either. It was like 25 quid as well. I bought a good one. I bought a pure belter.
He's not got a good wee gift at it.
So the thing comes to the door, right? So the thing gets delivered to the door, and he didn't talk about this for months, right? So the thing gets delivered to the door, and he just says, it just says his surname on it. So he opens it, right? And then he sees there's a fucking dildo inside, and he's like, what the fuck? And then like tries to close it up, but then sees that it's addressed to his mum. So then he thinks that his mom's bought a dildo, and he's opened it. So he just fucking sellotapes it back up and just like puts it down, right? So then he's fucking obviously like, oh my fucking god, oh my god. And then so his mum whatever gets in and then opens it, and then not in front of him or whatever, but like opens it, and then I don't know how long passes.
Just hears a buzzing coming for a room.
Don't open the door. So I think eventually this happened so long ago, I think I might be missing out a few details, but then so eventually Mark's mum says to Mark, like, do you know, or no, they thought it was like a family friend had ordered it or something, so then they were trying to get to the fucking bottom of it, and then like months and months down the line I was like, I bought it.
Brilliant.
Sorry,
Curious case of Mark
came in the
dildo.
It came in a group chat or whatever, and then he realised that the money came out of his account and all that, and then he's like, oh fuck you. So it linked back that he realised that one of us would have done it, and then you're like, fucking serves you right at it, and he was like, give me my money back, and I was like, no.
Fucking return it. Unless it's been used.
I was going to say that. I should offer the money back, Mark.
Merry Christmas, man. And so that's the story about how I bought my mum's pal a dildo.
That's fantastic.
That's
mate.
fucking class.
That's gold.
Yeah, I can't believe I haven't told that.
More
fucking
shit.
50 episodes in.
That's great.
That's a good one. Anyway, Aye, so
I'm actually a little bit flabbergasted at that. Literally, I'm like, fucking hell.
mate, it's,
Good on you, though.
I was trying to think what's something
a
I
good
could
gym,
buy
man.
that's like that would cause a bit of a shock factor. Sex toy will do the trick.
Yeah, Gimp mask.
Yeah, sex toy will do the trick.
See if you could have left like a note and just said like "love you, mum" or something like that. That would have been. Do you know what I mean? She opens the box, "love you, mum," as a dildo. That would have been fucking great.
Oh, but it'd be even better though if it was addressed to his dad and he opened it as well. That'd have been even
That would
better,
have-
man.
Wow.
It's a pure purple bad boy, man.
See, I know you wouldn't even investigated that any further if it was your dad. You'd be like, that's it. And then
And then
for
obviously
the rest of your life, you think that. That's Dad's whacking a dildo up his ass.
Oh, aye. So yeah, I don't know if he was a good sport about it then, but he's a good sport about it now.
Nah, of
Aye, so
It's all in the past.
it's not in the
It's
past.
all in the past.
It all serves for good stories. You know what I mean? It's normally you coming out with the good stories, to be fair. About your past.
Fuck.
Do you know what I mean? But anyway,
Young Bobby
Lifters.
lifters.
Young Bobby lifters.
what the fuck are you talking? All right, what the fuck's YBL?
Evan's got a
Your
young
best
Bobby
life.
Young Bobby lifters tap on.
Your best life, young boy. But we're going to talk.
That's fucking weird, in fact.
We're going to talk about a couple of things, right? In fact, before we get into that, I think the last podcast we were potentially talking about Izzy and Sean Strickland. And
We
how-
were, actually.
And then we were just like, he's just going to fucking walk through them and blah, 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 blah. Then that happened.
Kicked his cunt in.
Kicked his fucking head in. What
you
the
know-
fuck do you think happened there?
I think maybe underestimated Strickland.
I think 75% of it is Strickland's game plan and coaches were. And then I think the rest of the percent goes to Izzy. I just think just off.
Yeah,
Bit
I
slow.
watched an analysis of it, like how like it was checking kicks and stuff, and it was brilliant.
Aye.
It was all game plan.
Yeah, it was funny as they said, I seen a post and it was like, how mad is it that the only thing needed to beat Izzy was to lift your left leg and to throw a straight right? And that's all he did. Like
No, I did this as well sometimes.
he was doing the fucking whatever that's
It's
called.
the Mayweather, it's the, what's it called? The
Philly roll.
Philly Rome.
And he was just like that. Hi, it was mad. But I think actually because he fucking rocked him that first round,
Yeah, flung it.
and then I think
But then Izzy came out in the second and looked good.
he looked all right, but I don't know from there if he just maybe felt like his power a bit and like just stood off and then just
Maybe.
couldn't get, then after that just couldn't get close to him.
I've heard too, Ian Gary probably put it best as like, it looked like
Irish
Izzy.
boy.
Aye.
Yeah.
So it looked like Izzy didn't want to lose. He fought like he didn't want to lose. That's what it looked like, rather than fighting to win.
Aye, whereas Sean was fighting like he wanted to win.
Aye,
Yeah.
Sean was fighting like he wanted to
He
win. and
really was.
He really was, wasn't he?
Even up until right up to the
Shouting and screaming.
right up to the final round, right up to
Yeah.
that fifth round, he was like
Baiting him,
still
let's
pushing.
go, come on.
Still
He
pressing.
didn't stop moving forwards at Terminator. And I think Strickland's coach supposedly saw everything that Izzy was setting up and kept shouting out before it happened. And as he went up to the coach after and said, "You saved his life there," because he just kept calling out everything.
Is that right?
Aye.
Wow.
Absolutely everything. He said he's seen everything as he was going to fling. Because he said that and the coach went on a few things. Like, I don't know if you're on the aerial, the MMA hour, and he said, I've watched like 100 hours of fucking Izzy's tape as a fan, never mind as a coach. Do you know what I mean? So I know how he fights. So in there, he's just supposedly just seen everything.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So it was a team effort.
Have you seen the? I don't know how old it is, but the video of Bisping and his son doing a live stream, and
is it him calling out the wrong names?
I can't remember it, but his son's like, he basically said something along the lines of, why wouldn't you want to fight Izzy? And he's like, it's all this gay shit.
Really?
And then Bisping's like, what the fuck? You can't say that.
That's so funny.
It's so funny, man. He's a pure like fear of getting cancelled.
Aye.
Mate, Bisping's live stream is so funny. There's
Aye.
like the videos of him, so it's like people comment with fake names and all that.
It's
So good.
Bisping's reading it.
He beats them all out.
He's obviously got the funny eye and stuff, and he's sitting reading it. He's like, Nick Kerr.
Nick Kerr.
And then he pauses and he says, I don't think I like that one.
They get him every time, you know.
They do.
Every time.
Oh, it's funny, man.
it's
It's funny.
He's a madman, isn't he? Fighting, winning the belt with one eye.
I
Not
know,
telling anybody,
yeah.
getting away with it and all that.
I know.
Aye, it's mad. Like he's one of those guys that probably pushed his career right to the very end before the wheels well and truly fell off. Whereas you get people who like just ride out for far too long. Do you know what I mean? Like far too long.
Aye,
And they're
and
not smart about
Usually Dana wants them to retire.
Yeah.
Right, you should.
Like you got like a lot of those older guys and those older legends like Chuck Liddell and stuff like that, and like
Ortiz came back. And
Ortiz and all that stuff. And the thing is, it's like once these guys have been knocked out a couple of times, I think their receptiveness to get knocked out again, like,
It's easier. They say that, don't they? Because the body's trying to protect itself.
his brain just shuts off,
Shuts off.
just out like a light, which is fascinating. Do you know what I mean?
It is.
But anyway, I thought I'd bring that up because we were talking about it last time, and I think I can't even remember what I was talking about on it, but how I basically just almost like
Izzy would do it.
yeah.
I thought Izzy was kicked out.
Even though I was actually wanted, because the thing is, right, he's one of the best to ever do it in the middleweight division, Israel Adesanya, but it's quite hard to be a fan of his sometimes, just with how fucking cringy he is.
The dog collar.
Yeah, it's just there's just so many things, like the nails. I'm gonna break my nails in his face and all that. And Sean Strickland's like, that's fucking gay. I'm not doing that. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, like it's so hard to be a fan because he's just like so annoying with stuff like that. Like I don't know. It bugs me sometimes. But then it's funny actually. I seen this highlight reel and then it was like Izzy talking about his nails and all that and getting his nails done and getting a pedicure, and then it cuts to Sean Strickland and like AC/DC and all that, and he's shooting guns and
Do you know
running up hills and riding motorbikes.
Do you know
and that. And I'm like,
we've never mentioned at all is the Izzy video with the dog.
What's that?
That he wanks off his dog a little bit. Have you never seen this?
This is the stuff that Strickland was bringing up. That's how at the end you see like, as he was saying to Sean, like, that's my family. I think he was talking about his dog.
And he's got a weird relationship with it.
It's died.
So
It's dead.
Is it dead?
Yeah,
Wow.
What did I Google here without fucking?
I wouldn't Google it.
The government.
Don't Google it because that's going to come up in your fucking.
Do you know? I've seen the video and it appears. I'm not trying to stick up for it. I'm actually going to stop talking. I was going to say it's not that bad. No, it is kind of bad if you're doing that. That's kind of
So
weird.
did I Google is
Twitter.
Israel Adesanya wanking off his dog? Is it just
Israel Adesanya dog.
Israel
Adesanya dog on Twitter? Right,
Jesus
hold on.
Christ.
Yeah, it's actually. I don't know why I'm
searching
I'm
this.
trying to stick up for it. I'm not. It's fucking wrong.
God. No, I was thinking like if Strickland turned into a brawl, he could have bet, is he? But he didn't even need to turn into a brawl. He was fucking flawless.
Do you know if I've still not seen the fight back because the highlights haven't been up on BT Sport?
It's all changed to TNT.
It's TNT now. BT doesn't do it anymore. So we go to Discovery.
Dog.
You Discovery Plus. So you can activate your Discovery Plus.
Are you watched the video?
No, I'm just getting fucking
Weird shit.
mad shit pop up on Twitter.
It's Discovery Plus now. This one. So
Is
you,
it?
so you just activate Discovery Plus and then TNT's on that, and it's actually better on there.
Yeah.
It doesn't give away any fucking wins or what's happened. It's just the main card, the prelims. You click what one you want to watch, and it allows you to pick the fight. No, you don't need to fast forward it, and so you can just go.
Exceptional.
It's good.
Right. Maybe.
And there's fights coming up. Big fights coming up, man. We've got Kamzat and Costa coming up. We've got Jones and Miocic coming up. We've got Pereira versus what's his name?
Oh no,
champ. What's his
Headwank.
name?
Ukraine, is he Ukrainian?
Aye. Oh my God, what's his name? I can't remember.
Jerry.
It's Jerry.
Phil.
Aye.
Not Phil. Not
No,
he wasn't
no, he
Phil.
doesn't
What was
say
he?
Phil.
Jerry Procacia.
What was it he said
I
again?
can't mind.
Because that was Usyk that said Phil. I
It was
feel.
Usyk. I really feel.
Yeah.
I can't mind. But they're coming up. So there's a lot of big fights coming up, man. Fucking buzzing.
Anyway, the Rugby World Cup's on.
The Rugby World Cup is on.
I'm going.
Aye.
Saturday.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
So I'm now unavailable this weekend and next weekend. So it's a few spins in it.
That is a few spins.
It's a few spins, man. Alex is not going to be happy.
Nope.
In fact, there's one of the things I was with him the other week, and he was like, he said, "Was that pre-booked?" I was like, "Yes," and he went, "I'm in charge."
He's dying. He's got this newfound power. Like so basically, there's a boy, and like, if you throughout the rugby season, for people that aren't aware, you get
For the non-rugby
for
wankers.
the non-rugby wankers, you get fines for things. It's not money. It's like you show up late to training, you get a fine, and basically it's a wee
roll of
board.
the
It's
dice.
called a roll of the dice or a spin, and it lands on something you need to do, whatever. So
What are the list of things?
I don't think we can read them out.
Nah, some of them a bit.
No, actually, that's absolutely fine. But that's top secret rugby stuff. That's top secret.
You weren't there when I did the Dirty Pint.
No,
That was fucking gross, man.
the Dory.
Anyway, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
another time.
But are you looking forward to going to France?
Aye. Should be good. So it's funny, actually. So Katie was up until the fucking middle of the night. She was like, I've booked, woke me up. I booked Rugby World Cup tickets. I'm like, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, all right, cool, sick. When? This weekend. Ha, cool, nice. Can't find flights. Bah. You're not meant to do it like the other way about. Like, make sure you can get to the place and then book the things. Well, actually, fuck the flights. So I was like, Mum, we'll just fucking drive to Nice. It's 20 hours, so we're not doing that.
Fuck that.
So we're driving to Liverpool and then getting a flight from Liverpool to Nice and then flight back. So it's just a weekend thing.
Nice.
So it's just like a quick
That'd be good, man.
wee jaunt. So leaving, not the morning, Saturday morning, early morning.
Oh.
So I'm doing that, which will be good fun. We actually, in fact, one of the first things she got me when we started going, it was Rugby World Cup tickets when it was in Newcastle. Or when it was in England in 2015. So 8 years on.
That's cute.
8
years, 2 years, and it's just due a testimonial.
Up at the Torrance House Arena.
There
Give me a touch.
you go. So you can take the kick off and then off the pitch.
Aye. So yeah, I'm going there. What you guys? Are you guys got fun plans? No.
This weekend?
Yeah.
No.
I'm taking it relatively easy, man.
Are you?
It's a bit of a chill week for running. Every Saturday I've been
Mate, yeah.
away.
Tell us about what you've been doing actually.
So I've got an ultra marathon coming up in about 7 weeks, 6 weeks this weekend, 7 weeks this weekend. Can't
What
remember.
constitutes an ultra?
The ultra marathon is when it's over a marathon. The distance I think is it could be like maybe like 3 miles plus over or something like that.
Is that so?
constitutes it.
I've always wondered what was the minimum.
It's not a lot over. But I've got an ultra marathon coming up. I think it's the Glenelg 33, so it's 33 miles, which works at like 53 kilometres. But I think on the day it's a bit longer, so I think it's about 54 something kilometres. So it's kind of a bit mountainy, so there's a bit of mountain running in it, a bit of fell running, 800 metres or something elevation, through forests, through towns and stuff like that. So 7 weeks, 6 weeks, it's happening. So I've been doing a lot of running, man. Running half marathons at weekends and fucking get like a wee bit of chill week this week, and then next week it's the distance climbs back up again. I'll be doing
Does
like 30k weekends and stuff like that.
Did you self-program this, or did you find
I self-program?
Did you?
Aye.
Interesting.
Self-program. That I wanted to self-program this one. Then going forward, I'm going to get somebody to do it off of me.
Will you?
Aye.
What made you want to go that decision of like programming for yourself to go through this first?
Because
off?
I wanted to do it myself, get myself to it, and then anybody that I've got that wants to do ultra marathons, I'm like, well, I know exactly how to program for it. Do you know what I mean? I've took myself here, so it just kind of puts me in a better position, I guess, to be like, well, this is what I've done myself, took myself to it. Then I don't mind getting a coach after that. Don't mind getting a coach after that. Do you know what I mean?
Because I think the reason why I asked that is because I would have a similar train of thought. I think for myself, if I was doing something like that, where it was like I would kind of want to test the waters a wee bit myself, and then see like, right, what were some of the missing pieces that I
Exactly.
had. Do you know what I
But
mean?
you learn better like that, right? You learn better like that.
Yeah, whereas I suppose some people just like to leave it in the coach's hands,
which is fine.
which is absolutely fair. And I think that some of the people that I've had come to me from like right from the rip, and then they're almost like really, really green to be able to like form them myself from like, and so they wouldn't even know how. So it's a bit of like, I remember talking to one of my guys about this, and he's like, I'm not even too sure how I would program for myself. And I think it's like a bit of a skill that you should maybe possess a little bit.
Yeah.
But then I suppose if you have a coach, that is their job to just be able to be like, here's exactly what you're going to do. Run
It
it.
takes the thinking away from it as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, aye, because that's another thing on. Yeah, you've got the actual practical section of it of like, yeah, you have to run from here to there, and it's going to take you this long. But like, how does your nutrition look, fueling look, recovery look, fucking leading up to it, tapering, all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
So
there is a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, there is a fair
There's
bit,
a lot goes
especially
in.
when you start getting into these further distances.
Yeah.
So
It's been an eye opener. And I'm
Is that-
fucking kind of running through an injury. I've just had it all year. It's that ache in my ankle. Kind of dating for it. Like no massage or fucking anything helps it. So that's been a bit tough because like for the first 10k sometimes
stand on a pillow.
stand on a pillow. Okay, I'll try that, man. I'll try that.
Proprioception.
Stand on a pillow.
I'll try that, bro.
Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Stand on a pillow.
I'll do it.
That'll help.
I'll do it tonight. So that's been funny because I'm having to, like, for sometimes it's like 10k, it aches. So I'm just having to mentally push myself through it and just keep going. Then after 10k, it goes numb. I'm like, cool, I'm sound.
I'm good to
I'm sound.
go.
It's just fun. It's just been funny running through that because if I didn't have this planned, I wouldn't be running. Wouldn't be pushing through it. Wouldn't be testing where I can go and stuff with it. Even having the call glass like the other week there, I wouldn't have ran. I'm like, if I miss a week, then next week's going to be brutal. So I'm like, I need to fucking go up and get shit done. And I was smashing, still get through it. So I'm like, I felt like shit, but I still done everything I had to do that week. Well, it's funny when you've got something like that booked, what it does for you, man.
Yeah.
What it does for you.
When you have something that's there's a time pressure to it. Like you have to achieve something by this date, and like that brings a level of urgency to the shit that you need to do in order to get it done. Like,
it really does.
Because like you could have the exact same training plan because you're like, yeah, I'm going to increase the miles I'm going to run, but if you didn't have a race, you'd have probably patched a few of the sessions. And I'm not saying that because I think anybody would be the same. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that just for you as an individual. I think for anyone, like, unless they have something to train for, it makes it very hard to follow something or find reason to follow something.
Yeah, it's like, why am I doing what I'm doing?
Yep. You need goals. You need something to work towards. You just do, man. Whether that be something that you can actual book physically or just something. But I think putting a time on stuff is a game changer for just having a goal. Like I want to earn $1 million. Cool. When? Don't know.
Yeah, I think the fitness industry's kind of.
I said $1 million.
Like, see, I'm kind of thinking back to a couple, even like 5 years ago. There was less people, unless you're like an out and out runner, but there's less people kind of booking things like that. Do you know what I mean? Now everyone's doing like a High Rocks or an ultramarathon or a fucking Keltman or something like that, because that's like people have kind of leveled up their training and their training repertoire. Is that maybe the word to use?
Yeah.
Open up their eyes to what's possible and the kind of things that they can do. Because obviously with the introduction of like CrossFit and that style of training, people are pushing the boat out in the type of things that they can do, which is actually really kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah, I think there's a natural, especially for people that have played sports, but there's a natural progression to like want to feel the need to still compete. I think that for people that have always competed every single Saturday to then not, to then training for a bunch of years, being like, what am I doing here? I think they don't even realise that they miss competing. You know what I mean? They miss that's the element of like what they're actually missing. So I think that's why you do get a circle of people who maybe used to play sports growing up, and then when they get to the kind of late 20s, when they've stopped playing sports and they're starting to train more or run more or cycle more, they're like, fuck it, I'm going to book a half marathon, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that.
Amanda at times has a conversation with me kind of loosely, like, oh, well, like, kind of try to gauge how many more years I've got of rugby left. So maybe 3 6 years of rugby left. The prop at DL was 56.
Was he?
He was 56 years old.
Good fucking lad.
Fucking well done, Les.
Aye.
Well done, Les.
What a boy.
Wow, man.
So I have 25 years left.
Holy
You're not even
moly.
a quarter of the way through your career, mate.
Easy.
Holy moly. In the front row as well. In the
know.
trenches.
But you want to see that?
Holy shit.
The only thing he done was scrum.
Aye.
So he would literally just go from scrum to scrum and then
Potter a bit.
just potter about.
If somebody happened to run into him, cool. I'll
Aye.
tackle you.
He was solid. Do you know, apart the guy's solid. Like, he, like trains like 6 days. He keeps himself in really good
Does
nick.
he?
Aye.
Fair fucks to you, man.
I know, and he'll do double sessions. So he's a solid old guy.
Good
But
on
yeah,
you.
I've got a full rugby career left. I'm just a pup.
I know.
Getting started in this game, man.
Your daughter will have been born, grown up, went to school, went to uni, moved out, Nevin's still up fucking
And had a daughter herself.
Had a daughter.
herself.
Your granddaughter will
She's
watch you play
definitely
rugby.
she's definitely going to watch it. See my dad play rugby on a Saturday. Well, I get my pals.
Again. how many caps must that man have? Has he stayed at that one club his whole life?
I had no idea. But I remember playing against them fucking years ago.
Really?
As well, and then like people that there was people like the old lads that follow East Kilbride like to the games, like the old players and stuff like that. I played against him fucking like 20 years ago.
Wow.
Which is Which is kind of cool, isn't it? You're like, fair dincomes, mate.
Nah, that's fair enough. There was actually, remember I seen this post that went viral of a rugby team in Ireland, I believe, and it was a father and his 5 sons all played in the same
I
team.
think I saw that. Yeah.
You see that? They all played in the same team. Like this Thirds team in Ireland, or I think it was Ireland. I might be.
I'm going to need to pop
fucking
out
up.
a couple of sons.
I know. Him and his 5 sons all played in the same team. Like they were all fucking like the scrums in the backs. I think some were on the bench and all that sort of stuff. But they all managed to play together, which I thought was quite a cool moment. Happened with Owen Farrell.
And his dad, yeah.
And his dad was a rugby league guy, wasn't he?
And then he transferred.
But then he played, I think, Owen Farrell's first game. I don't know if you know who Owen Farrell is. He's the England captain now. Well, he's like
Captain of the shoulder charge.
Captain of the shoulder charge. Bit of tosser, but his first game for his professional club Saracens was his dad gets subbed off and he gets subbed on.
Which is pretty cool.
I think he was like 16 or 17 or something like that.
Cool,
which I thought that's pretty sick.
That's
pretty fucking cool. Anyway, so rugby. Hoorah. How you feeling about the first start of the season?
We're sitting third in the league.
It's good.
Which we should
be first.
First joint top anyway. Like we threw away a game against Lindsay.
That was tough.
It was tough. But positive signs all round. Do you know what I mean?
How you feeling being back?
I'm enjoying it, man.
Aye.
Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I just like being back with the boys, man.
Aye. Pints.
Full credit to the I'm practicing my full credit to the boys for the performance. But just shout out the boys.
Just do that in the mirror every day.
Yeah, just full credit to the boys. That's all you need to say.
Team effort. It's a team
See if you
effort.
ever get interviewed after the game, it's just full credit to the boys. You know what I mean? That's literally it. Jordan, you lost 71-0 today. I full credit to the boys.
Turned up.
Nothing to do with me today. I'm looking forward to it. There's definitely a good vibe, I think, at the club at the minute, where the very much between every single person there, the want to win is there, which is quite cool. And like I've had that a couple of seasons and a couple of times, and maybe at different clubs I've had in the past, but like the want to win every single game is like there. And I was that's quite cool. It's quite motivating to be around, because everyone's like, nah, we have like, rather than just being like, yeah, we've got a game on Saturday, like hopefully we win. It's not really like that.
No, we are fucking winning.
There's a fucking winning attitude, and I like being around that. Do you know what I mean? Like everybody likes winners. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite cool to be around.
No, that's cool. And how are you finding with the training and the games, fitting into CrossFit training?
Fine.
Aye.
I think fine. So after that Lindsay game, I played like 50 minutes or whatever, and it wasn't too rough. I'm not doing all the fucking scrummaging nonsense that these guys do, that the big boys do.
I'm broken after the game.
Yeah, so I was sore. Don't get me wrong, I was a bit sore. Legs were feeling a bit tired, but I had me, Andy, and James were doing a three-way, a fitness competition. A team of three fitness competition on the Sunday, and they were a bit panicked. They were like, I hope you better fucking turn up, man, not have any excuses. And then I kind of fucked my knee a wee bit on the Saturday, and it was just killing me. Like, it wasn't bad, it wasn't like an injury, it was just like a collision of legs. So I went into that kind of half trying to hide my hobble, and then we still won the competition on Sunday, but I was...
Did you just win it?
Of course we won it.
Oh wow, well done.
Yeah. Of course we won it. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, James and Andy are really fit. Like,
I know. They're that fit. They just needed me to turn up.
You just needed the number.
They need a third body.
They just needed an extra person, could have been named there. So full credit to the boys. I mean,
full credit to the boys.
So no, and fitting it all in, it took a wee bit of an adjustment. Like, I had to kind of eat shit for a couple of weeks and then deal with the soreness. But unless you pick up like an actual injury on the Saturday, I think I've kind of got used to it again.
That's good.
So plus it's a tough team to crack. So it's not like you're getting 80 minutes every single week. Do you know what I mean? So, which I'm actually not minding. So.
Yeah, that kind of buffers the fatigue a little bit.
Defo. So, but I like getting in about it again. Do you know what I mean? I've missed it. I've missed tackling men, essentially, is what I'm.
Do you know he's actually quite good at that?
Is he really?
Like genuinely, he's quite.
What do you mean, is he really?
He can't catch a ball for a kick, right? but he's
Happened one time.
Never gonna let it go.
One time.
we've got video. The thing is, all the games get videos.
There is video evidence.
He can make a tackle though, and he's very good at rubbing someone's head into the ground. But
Talking about.
I've seen. What was that? you gone very late, didn't you? You like that? Your tackles.
It was fucking. There's nothing late about it, to be honest. I thought it was perfectly timed.
That was me.
Anyway,
move on.
the SRU's watching. I went up in tackle school with Owen Farrell.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of bits I wanted to fucking get into, right? And then there was a couple of bits, Danny, you mentioned as well. If I find our chat, wherever the fuck it is. Sorry, I've just got that many conversations. I'm not popular. Help me out, guys.
Search
So-
no rep.
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Right, so I made a post the other day and I wanted your guys' point. I know, Danny, I know you like this. You actually made me make the post. The correlation between client communication and client gains. So, well, in fact, before I get into it, what is your thought on the level of communication you get with a client? Is there a correlation between that and the amount of progress that they make?
Donald Trump, huge.
Huge.
It's absolutely huge.
Huge.
It's absolutely massive.
Think so?
Oh, milli%.
Yeah.
Milli%.
Okay.
There's nothing that I dislike more as a coach is when people just they don't keep in contact with you. I'm a bit like, why are you here? Like, it's not because I think a lot of people, some people can think about the value or whatever is in the training program, like the actual program itself,
The sets and reps.
but it's not. It's in our knowledge, our insight, all that sort of stuff. So the more someone's engaged with me as a coach, the more that I know, right, they're in it. Do you know what I mean? They are switched on, fully engaged, and they really want to make change. So the more open your communication is, it's going to lead to better results. 110.
Yeah. Who are you?
I put myself. Sorry, it sounds like somebody's banging on the door there. Is there a box in here? Somebody's trying to go out. Hear it?
It's just, I guess the voices in your head, mate.
I put myself in a position of a client, right? When I think about myself, if I was a client, I'm terrible for, if I've got problems, putting them on to, like, I've had a coach in the past, I've had business mentors in the past, putting it onto them instantly. I kind of try and take it on myself, and I'm like, I don't want to put, it's like I deal with my kind of problems myself and I don't want to put it onto them, right? Because I think that's maybe helping something, but then I'm like, nothing's getting solved and the issue kind of gets bigger before I then go to the coach, the mentor, whatever. And I think there's just a lot of people like exactly like that when they come on board with us. So I always try and put myself in the shoes of like what I'm like, and I understand why they're like that. But it does make our job harder, and it does take away for the actual experience and progress that ultimately you would get if you were pretty much like, it's no annoying to be on to your coach every day. It's no annoying. We want to hear from you. Like, if you like, let us know what's going on daily.
It's what they paid for.
Exactly. Like, we are at your disposal, like daily. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
that's the full point. So, that's my take on it. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you actually brought that up, because so initially I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking about my clients, and it has been so clear with the amount of people that the level of communication I have with someone is there's a clear direct line with the amount of progress that they make for the most part. There has been a couple of outliers where like I'm like message them again, don't hear from them. I'm like, is this fucking idiot doing anything I say? And then he messaged me back, I PR'd my back squat by like 20 kilo. I'm like, so you're fucking doing everything? Like, right, okay, cool, cheers mate. And then you don't hear from them for like another 2 weeks. And so, but then when I've had a coach in the past, and then so I thought of it from the frame as like, right, me. And then when he used to message me, I was like, I'd like, fuck, and I'd patch it, and I'll get back to that, and then I'd leave it a day or two. So I was doing the very thing that I was moaning about.
Aye.
And I'm like, right, hold on, like step back, step out of coach mode for a minute and put your fucking client hat on and be like, that's what I'm like, I know. So And again, at my downfall, at my detriment, I could have got more from that individual. I could have got more from that coach if I had like reached out more, sent feedback. Is this all right? Is that all right? And a lot of the things that I was having trouble with could have been squashed a lot quicker. So you're right. And I think that if you put yourself in the client's shoes and it's like, well, how would I then reach out to me? Do you know what I mean? And I think it's about framing, right? Well, for you, what do you feel like is the right level of communication that's going to help you grow? Because I've found that some people respond really well to like weekly calls. Some people, that would be their worst nightmare. Right, yeah. They'll be like, mate, like away. Like, I don't talk to my missus that much. I don't want to fucking talk to you that much.
Spooky bitch.
Do you know what I mean? Right? So, and then it's like, right, okay, cool. So it's like just every other day to like ad hoc, just like all good, like just 2 words, all good, and then they'll either be like yeah or no. Do you know what I mean? So then different people respond to different levels of communication, and I feel like I'm like in that all good camp because if I got a message from a coach being like all good, I'd be like, aye, like it sound like cool. Don't worry, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like I'm cool. Like if I need you, I'll reach out. No bother, right? Whereas like some people need to be like, and that's fine. And so I was just looking at it from the lens of like everybody needs to respond to something in one way, and it's like that just doesn't work because you're working with individuals at the end of the day, innit? So 100%. I was in the camp of like, nah, like the more comms the better, which is still true. I do still believe in that, but there's different ways of communicating with people, and I think that as a coach, you have to learn to like shapeshift in a way and kind of be like, right, how I speak to this person is different to how I speak to that person. But I kind of had a follow-up to that, right? Because I was listening to a podcast, I had a coach on it, and he was very much of the stance of like, you cannot be friends with your clients. There's a line and there's a boundary you can't cross. You can't call them mate, can't call them bro, can't like...
That man's wrong.
Yeah, you can't really be their friends. Like at the end of the day, you're their coach. So you're here to deliver results. You're here to deliver like whatever. And I can see why you would say that, and I can see there's huge value in that. And if anything, I think I would actually get more results from a person who wasn't my friend than someone who was, because like that's the only channel that's the only line of communication that you have. Like for me personally, I think I would get on quite well. But I've got my thoughts, but what's your guys' thoughts on like, can you be like friends with your clients?
I think 110%. I don't think I've ever had the problem of where those waters have been kind of murkied or whatever. I think you as a coach, you need to be able to flip between being there, because sometimes you will need to be the friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then flip to then being the coach, and it's about how you articulate that relationship to them and basically say, look, I'll be your friend when you need me to be your friend, but I'll be your coach when I need to be your coach, and sometimes you need to listen to coach. Do you know what I mean? So I think that comes down to the individual, the coach actually having the skill to be able to do that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I think it depends as well how surface level are the results you're looking to get for people. Do you know what I mean? If you're a coach, you maybe just get surface level results with people, fat loss, muscle building, that's it. The questions and the way you're approaching things is very surface level all the time, and the person doesn't need anything, doesn't need you or doesn't need anything deeper than that, then it could be quite alright just to be quite blunt and quite like, right? But I feel like for the majority of people, they need somebody that is going to actually build a relationship with them. Do you know what I mean? The more if you build a relationship with a client, better chance they'll open up, they'll speak to you, they'll actually tell you what's up and what's wrong, which most people need.
Yeah, so that's something I agree with. So when he said that, and as soon as he said it, and this is a coach that I kind of highly regard and almost look up to in a little bit. So when he said that, I was like, fuck. I was like, pretty much with all my clients, I'd like to say, like, I'm almost pals with them. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, I really like these guys. Do you know what I mean? And especially like 2 of them are like my best mates. But then, as Evan said, I was like, there's different hats.
100%.
There's 100% different hats, and there's times where we can laugh, joke, whatever. And even when, quite a lot of the time when I have client calls with people, it's like, and especially as people that I've had for a while, when you do have a lot of communication with them to drive the results, you just naturally build a rapport with them. 100%. So then they start opening up about things about their life, things that are going on with their family, things that are going on with their work. Like I have that with conversation with clients quite a lot. And you get it even more so when you were a one-to-one PT, when you're like, for so many people, that's a fucking therapy session for them. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want to say the word therapy to dumb down therapy sessions or anything like that, but more often than not, when you get clients in for one-to-one, that's a face to talk to.
Just want to vent.
Yeah, like a hairdresser's. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I disliked about one. I liked it and I disliked it, but 1-to-1.
Because you're dealing with people's problems.
No, I just kind of like I just felt that I was like, that it's fine chatting to you and all that sort of stuff, but you're literally fucking about.
Yeah, you're wasting time here.
You're wasting time. This is why you don't get progress, because you're fucking about every
It's
single
true.
session, like greeting.
Yeah.
You're here to work.
Yeah.
You want to chat about Sandra in the office.
Aye.
Like, that's just my opinion.
Hey,
That-
but it goes
Sandra,
there.
she always brings in fish. Fucking fish.
Fish for lunch, eh? Puts
for
fish in a
lunch,
microwave.
I used to hate that when I worked in an office, man. It's just rude. You see people that microwave fish, they don't understand. They can't. Their mind can't comprehend
How
why that's a
stinky it
bad
is.
thing.
Aye.
I know,
Because I
But
was
do you not
eating
like the
fish.
office smelling of mackerel?
Fish,
No,
fish.
I don't.
I clean, but still I stink of fish.
No,
The beach. What? Have you seen the beach, Leonardo DiCaprio?
I have. I can't remember,
Remember that
though.
scene? All right.
Oh, fuck. Aye. Anyway, so back to fucking. Aye, you're right. I think that, but it goes the other way, right? It's because the PT can do that as well. Because then they're offloading, I'll offload. Here's what happened, and blah, 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 blah. And so, like, it can happen. But when you do spend a lot of time with people, it's only natural that relationship is gonna grow. And but then it becomes the fine line of like, you still need to be able to fucking put the hat on of the coach and be like, here's what's happening, here's the drill, and here's what's going on. And I had that conversation with the boys last week. Kind of had a bit of a deload week, and then they're ramping up for a competition. I was like, see, on Tuesdays where we've kind of been fucking about a wee bit, training, still been working hard, but I was like, that's changing. Tone changes as soon as we come in. It's game time, like it's go time, and they're like, cool. So then they know as well. They know when it's time to rock and when it's time to like chill out and relax, because you can't be 100% all the time. You can't be full tilt. Like it's like as much as you maybe want to be, or you don't feel productive when you're not full tilt all the time. Like it's hard to always have that hat on with your clients for, especially when you've had long-term clients. You can't be pushing for a year, 2 years. There has to be times where it pulls back. Do you know what I mean? You have to be a bit more relaxed and aye, but that was my thoughts. So when he said it kind of took me back, and I was like, fuck, I'm friends with like a lot of my clients.
Gives me boring bastard vibes,
Yeah, a wee bit.
like six-pack Percy.
Aye.
Like,
Aye. It's just like with the fucking...
Six-pack Sally or something.
Aye.
If you say something that rhymed. Six-pack Sally.
But there was a thing that we didn't list down there, but again, the juices are flowing in my brain. And another question, or a thing that came up, and I've heard it years in the past, and I don't know if this is a bit of a limiting belief that I potentially possess, right? But I feel like, say in your life, right, you've got three things, three main things, right? You've got, for us guys, anyway, for guys that train and stuff like that, you've got your training,
Yep.
you've got like your career or your work, or your passion or whatever, and then you've got like relationships. So you've got these three things that typically make up the bulk of your life. Obviously there's shit around it, but those are the main three things. Out of those three things, I feel like, and I've felt this, you can only really push in two at a time. I think that trying to push in all three doesn't really work. You're spinning too many plates. And I think that there's times, and the thing is, I don't want that to be the case, and I don't want that to be a self-limiting belief of me being like, oh, you can only, like that's definitive language, like you can or you can't. Like I don't want to say that, but I've found that like when I'm training really, really hard and like relationships and that are going well, like I'm slacking on work stuff, I'm not being as diligent with work, and then the same when it's training and work, I'm like, I'm not being as attentive at home as I could be. And
Do you know, you've actually just kind of described the 4 burners theory.
4 burners theory.
The 4 burners theory.
There's a theory.
There's a theory. So you've got 4 burners to your life. I'm going to probably butcher the names, but you'll get the gist of it.
Hit me.
Relationships.
That's two. Sorry.
Relationships 3. Relationships. Wealth.
Okay, yeah.
Health and fucking something else. Social. Right. Friendships.
Okay.
So like love life, whatever. So you've got 4 burners, and basically you can be successful in 3 of them. One of them's going to suffer. So if you want your personal relationship, your work, and your health to flourish, your relationships with friends will suffer as a result of that. If you want to be uber successful, you can only have 2. Let's think like the burners of a stove.
And there's only maximum amount of gas you can output. In that
You
shit,
can only
right?
have 2 of them running at the one time.
Got you,
So I somewhat agree
Yeah.
but also I feel that what you're meant to prioritise and focus on at the time is what you're meant to prioritise and focus on at the time. Two things, I see actual aspects. Like I'm focusing big on fitness now. Really pushing, obviously, training a lot, putting a lot more hours in, double sessions and all the rest of it. I'm actually seeing everything else is great.
Yeah.
Everything else is great. So even though I might not be focusing on it, it's actually working itself in a better way than it maybe normally would, right? So I'm noticing that. And the second thing I'm noticing is your bandwidth increases. So your actual bandwidth for doing stuff increases. So even though you might not be putting the same amount of focus on all three, like your bandwidth for managing them all is just getting higher and higher and higher and higher
But I
and
think
higher.
that only applies, or mostly applies, not only, that mostly applies when the burner's near maxed on the health aspect. When you're looking after your health, I think that most things can flourish off the back of that.
Aye.
But if you're only focused on wealth, or only focused on like relationships or friendships, then everything else can start to die down because you're not prioritising your health. I think that
Maybe that's
prioritising
it,
your
yeah.
health, it should always be number one.
Yeah.
In a way, because
Agree
then
completely.
that drip feeds, that energy drip
Turn
feeds
off
into
all
other
the
shit.
other rings, health.
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 Fucking rock hard health.
But it makes sense.
like March Moz fucking big purple health.
Purple.
Purple fucking womb
Doubly
monster.
Larry health.
Health, work, family, friends. That's what it was.
Health, work, family,
Family,
friends. Yeah, aye. So I think that's it. I bucketed the family and friends into the same section, but I like by all means, and that makes a lot of sense. And obviously, someone a lot more cleverer than I have has came up with the 4-burner theory. It sounds really smart.
James Smith, he don't get the trifecta or the triangle or something like that as well. He talks about that in his books, does he know?
Aye.
I think so.
It could have been somewhere I got it from. But the thing is, so this always plays in my mind when certain aspects of my life are going well and certain aspects of my life aren't going as well as I'd like them to be. And then I always be like, it's fine because I'm doing really good in these other two. But I don't want to use that as a crutch. I don't want to use that to feel like I'm...
I think you can cycle it though.
Yeah.
So, like for example, if you want to concentrate on work and your relationship with Katie, you turn down the other two rings a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Never got to train, bro.
Got to train,
got
bro.
Bench. Got a fucking bench to
No,
do.
but like,
Yeah.
because it's going to be cyclical in life, you know, because sometimes you will need to focus on work.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm focusing on work, and that's
You've got fucking car fines to pay.
yeah, fucking car fines to pay. Right, that's you've ruined my mood again. I forgot about it for a second. But that needs to be my focus just now
Yeah.
because I got a baby on the way.
You do have a baby
Right,
on the way.
that-
I'm going to need to pay for milk and shit.
But I like what you said about the health fitness aspect. I believe as well.
Yeah.
That is the one that is like the outlier out of
I
the,
say
out
that
of
as
the
I
3,
just down
4.
a can of chemicals.
Yeah, bro, get it done. Yeah. Out of the 3, 4 fucking whatever bits we're talking about, that is probably an outlier. Where the more you put into that, the more you can actually increase your bandwidth to
get
deal
the
with the
other
rest. So
ones.
that's probably an outlier. It's probably why I'm feeling good
Better
in every
than-
aspect of now. But
Aye.
my fitness and my health is like fucking turned up to the max.
Yeah. Because think about it, right? See if you were a fat fuck, right?
You've got away with words.
See if you were fat as fuck, right? Like genuinely humongous.
You were a gluttonous cunt.
Right? Aye, gluttonous cunt. I've used that one before. And like, it is going to be hard to really feel the rewards of the labour of your work into your relationships or your wealth or whatever. Like, yeah, I could fucking go to Cancun, man, because I've like hit my bonus this year. Don't want to go outside in the beach, but 'cause I'm like 60 stone. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's going to be hard to feel the rewards of that. Relationships as well. Like, I don't want to fucking get my kit off in the dark because I've got big gelatinous titties, so I don't really want to like MD to see that. Whereas like, if you're feeling good, healthy, and then you also have these other things flourishing, then it's going to be fucking good. So basically, all roads, they don't lead back to Rome. They lead back to the bench press.
To the bench press. To gain line strength.
Game line strength. Sign up today.
Via Cancun.
Aye. So that was the first point.
Point 2.
Now there's many points, but we'll begin to kind of wrap it up a wee bit.
We've got 10 minutes.
A couple of minutes. So we'll go over a few other things. There was something that you said that I didn't understand, and
That's not the
instead
first time, is it?
of me trying to read it out, you go for it.
Was it the first one?
Yeah,
So
I don't get what you mean.
I basically wrote men who force their own opinions and I was agreeing. Is that one you're
Yeah.
talking about, right? So right now, I feel this definitely applies to men a lot of the time, and mostly.
It's a very sexist thing.
No. That kind of is right, but it's actually it's a prop to birds, so which will make sense in a minute. Now, guys, I feel the now are kind of shouting their opinions a lot, right? But it's opinions of others. So like, there's a lot of men and a lot of influencers. Andrew Tate sticks to mind. Patrick Bet-Davis. Fucking Nathan, like, insert. Do you know what I mean? Insert people that down there kind of line of people. And then obviously they've got their opinions, but it's just their opinions and they put them out there. But the amount of conversations I have with people and they just don't have their own opinions. I'm like, that's an opinion of another person and you're not even like adding to it.
You're not
or thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're just taking it and now it's your opinion.
Right.
And like they're just consistently quoting that other person. Like, where the fuck is your own opinions?
Do you know what? Aye, 110%. But that just reminds me of people with like fitness advice, like over the years. No, you can't have carbs after.
Aye,
your,
bro,
after your bed.
it's just like that, right?
Well, it
It
reminds
is
me-
just like that.
Do you know what I mean?
It reminds me of people who vote as well. Like, so voting when every time the voting election comes around and stuff like that. And like, people will vote for a certain party because
Fuck the Tories.
that's what people have told them to vote for,
Is
rather than knowing. So I remember one time
No one actually thinking.
I duped somebody, right? I'm not going to say who, right? I would do somebody. So I pulled up the Tory manifesto, right? I pulled it up, right? And I was like, and I read it out, and I went, aye, exactly. I'm speaking to a red hot fucking Labour supporter here, right? And he's like, aye, exactly. To all the things I'm reading out, right? This guy bleed. Oh, everybody bleeds red, right? But you get what I'm saying. He was a Jeremy Corbyn fucking fan, and I'm like, you do realise what I've just read out here is Boris Johnson's manifesto? And I'm like, I've just taught, like, you see what I mean? You've just picked a colour here, right? You've just picked a fucking whatever. You're not
picked a
actually
team.
thinking for yourself, right? And the thing is, I'm not saying vote for one, vote for that. I'm not telling you what to do. You can do what the fuck you want to do, right? But see, when everybody's, and this goes to like if people who idolise Tate or idolise whatever, see when all of your thoughts mutually align with somebody else's, they're not a free thinker. Like they're unable to think for themselves. Other people think for them. And like you said, people forge their opinion and then they just march along with them. And they just march to the beat of their drum and they just fucking, whatever that football team says, boom.
Yep.
Like they wear their colours. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because we are a people.
So because that's the thing then, right? Because obviously, right, you've got these guys, they might have done bad things in the past, they might have done good things in the past, but if they said one thing that I agree with, I'll be like, I'm not going to lie because I don't like the person or like the person. Say, like, I agree with what this individual has said at this instance with this context, right? I agree with that, right? Aye, but if Hitler said the same thing, would you agree with him? And it's like, if Hitler said the sky was blue, I'd say, I think you're right, mate, aye.
9.
I think you're right. Does it mean I like the guy? No. I'm allowed to be a free thinker. I'm not.
2 weekends in a row we've talked about Hitler on this podcast.
I
Aye.
can't remember because I didn't upload last week, didn't I?
No, well, last time.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
BBC pipes.
BBC.
Yeah, I remember that. I can't believe that's not. Sorry, Spotify gang. You'll be blessed with 2 episodes this week. Double
Jesus.
ep. Normally people pull me up and they'll be like, "This
I'm
wasn't
actually, I
on
know.
there." And then so nobody's pulled me up. Maybe because everybody stopped listening. But no, I didn't understand what the point was. But now that you fleshed it out, it makes a lot of sense.
That's the thing, the only way I could explain it was
Was
like
it
getting into it.
actually
So I was
speak
like,
about
You
actually
didn't have
remember
the linguistical skills.
it. Not my text messages.
Blood? Is that a real word?
Linguistical? Aye.
Linguistical.
Anyway, should we call it?
Anyway, aye.
Aye.
So thanks for listening. I'm watching. Do me a favour though. Share the show. Don't be a hoe. I know, I said that,
right.
I'm joking. No, please do that. Like, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and just fucking tell everybody how
Aye.
good we are.
Share it,
Just
man.
fucking tell people.
Share the
That's
vibes.
it. See you later.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
All the best.